Let's compute the value to the expression -8 minus 12. Often, when dealing with negative numbers, it helps to use a number line to visualize our answer. So step number 1 in solving this problem is going to be to draw ourselves a number line so we can pinpoint that point -8, and then we can take 12 off of it and see what value we end at. Once you have a number line, like the one I have written up on the board, you can simply follow the directions given to you in the expression. It says we need to start at a value of -8. And from that -8, we're going to move over 12 spaces in the negative direction. It says we're going to take away 12 from this -8. That means we need to be moving to the left on the number line. So now it's just a matter of counting. Let's start at -8 and let's move over 12 spaces in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whew. It's a lot of counting. 10, 11, and 12. And when we count over 12 spaces and you've caught your breath, we can say that -8 minus 12 is equal to a -20. So see how the number line helped evaluate the expression. -8 minus 12. We started at -8, we counted over 12 spaces in the direction it told us to, and we arrived at an answer of -20. In math, it always helps to be able to solve any problem in more than one way. Also, we saw from this last example, it can sometimes be pretty tiring to have to draw a number line and count all those values. So in step number 2, let's determine a new method together for solving these types of problems that doesn't involve using a number line. Now, to help us start thinking about the problem, I'm going to rewrite this original problem in a different way. I'm going to change this subtraction problem into an addition problem. To rewrite it as an addition problem, we're going to change the expression -8 minus 12 into the expression -8 plus a -12. These two are the same thing because we're still taking away 12 from our original value of -8. And we know the value of this expression. We found in step number 1 that it's equal to -20. And the reason I rewrote this subtraction problem as an addition problem is because we're now going to compare it to another addition problem that we already know how to solve. And that other equation is going to be 8 plus 12 is equal to 20. We can see that there's a lot of similarities between these two equations. This equation looks like the evil twin of this equation. We have all of the same numbers, except all of the terms in this equation are negative. But equations with negatives don't have to be scary, because a closer look at this equation and this equation tells me a couple very important things. In each equation, the sign of the sum is the same as the sign of the two things we added together. Here we had a negative plus a negative, give us a negative answer. And over there we had a positive plus a positive, give us a positive answer. That's going to be true anytime we're adding two terms that have the same sign. Also notice that the number that followed that sign was the result of adding each of the previous terms as if they were positive values. So although we had a -8 plus a -12 over here, we still got a value of 20 on the right side of the equation, just like we did when we did 8 plus 12. In mathematical terms, we can sum that up by saying that we added the absolute values of the two terms we were combining. So we took the absolute value of -8 and added it to the absolute value of -12. And then obviously, we took into account the sign of our answer. So let's redo this example with that new knowledge. Let's first take a look at the signs of the two terms we're adding together. We have a -8 plus a -12. Well, a negative plus a negative, we said would also give us a negative answer. From there, we need to add up these two terms as if they were positive values. So let's take the absolute value of -8 and add it to the absolute value of -12. Well, we can sum that up by saying we're taking the absolute value of 8 plus 12. So we now know that -8 plus -12 simplifies to the negative absolute value of 8 plus 12. Well, 8 plus 12 we know is equal to 20. So we can simplify this one step further by writing the negative absolute value of 20. And since the absolute value of 20 is 20, we know that our answer is -20. And this answer of -20 checks out with our previous answer of -20. So we've now used two different methods to solve the same problem and found that -8 minus 12 is equal to -20.